move up a couple of places. They're back into 15th. They are 5 points above the bottom three. Bottom of the table, Sheffield United, level on points with Burnley. Terrible goal difference for both those sides as well. Luton on 20 points, 4 points behind Nottingham Forest, but they have played a game fewer than those teams. Chelsea drop into the bottom half of the table. Of course, they weren't in league action this weekend. In the top half, though, are West Ham, Newcastle and Wolves, who move up into 8th place following their win against bottom side Sheffield United. Brighton and Manchester United in what could be the European places come the end of the season. Then it's Tottenham in 5th. Liverpool still top of the table. Manchester City and Arsenal have played the same number of games as Liverpool, but they're a point and 2 points behind them. So setting up for a really exciting title race. Nina Mizuki and Tim Sherwood are here, but we're not going to start by talking about Premier League action. We're going to be talking about the significance to the Premier League of Liverpool's win in the League Cup. And some people very much enjoyed Virgil van Dijk's winner with just a couple of minutes to go. In fact, some people were on Premier League duty and got a little bit distracted, didn't they, Tim Sherwood? This is Mark Pugac picking up here.
Have they, particularly at home?
Double fist bumps. Undercover fist bumps.
Well, no, I was not interested in what Pugas was saying, but do you know why? Because it was Virgil van Dijk who'd already got the one disallowed. Yeah. I didn't agree with that decision. I just wanted him to score again, right. And he scored so late in the game, and Jurgen Klopp factor last season and all that. Yeah. Nothing against Chelsea, but I'm completely biased. But I was quite happy to see Virgil
get the goal.
It's immense, and I love good players to prevail.
Almost exactly the same goal as the one that got disallowed, but without the infringement in place that got the first one disallowed. But we will talk about Virgil van Dijk because obviously leadership was required in the latter stages of that game for Liverpool because they had so many young players on the pitch. So we should qualify this by saying Chelsea also had a lot of young players on the pitch, but the Liverpool players were so inexperienced. If you went through the team sheet at the start of the game and went down the subs bench, you'd be hard-pressed if you weren't avidly following Liverpool to give some of these players first names.
You know something, what was really good about what he was doing, it wasn't like he was putting them on and 5 minutes to go. So there was something, 40 minutes, it was a long time to play in a final, a big game for them, you know. When you're looking at we're talking about the ages of both, like the Chelsea side as well. They've got a young side as well, but they're much more experienced. And the thing what I think with Chelsea is that for him to take off certain players because they were tired, it doesn't go down well for me. In a final, a player, you're hoping that maybe if he said something like I'm tired, then you can't say anything. But when you look at the two different ages groups, like Chelsea's youngsters, Liverpool's youngsters came on and affected the game. The Chelsea players, for me, with more experience, it just seemed like they were playing for a manager that was going safe. And you're looking at Jurgen Klopp, who's going a manager, bringing on young players to make a difference. And this is what I thought they did.
Should also point out the details of this, because while they are obviously correct, Liverpool had 32-year-old Virgil van Dijk in their starting and finishing 11, and they had 3 teenagers on the pitch by the end of it. So the balance of the squad was a bit different, whereas Chelsea had lots of 20-plus players in there, but they were in their early 20s. And like you said, the level of experience was different. I think the 3 players at the end, Bobby Clark, who came on 72 minutes, and then the 2 young substitutes who came on pretty much for extra time, had 140 senior minutes between them before the Carabao Cup final, which was just incredible. And that probably is why Jurgen Klopp said in the immediate aftermath of the game, this was the most special trophy he'd won. Everybody, Virgil van Dijk, everyone that was injured talked about those young players, Nina.
Yeah, and it's also the first trophy that Virgil van Dijk can lift and be the senior voice. I think it's important that when you do have academy players or you have youngsters coming through, that unlike Chelsea, you have a few veterans who help teach them the way. For Thiago Silva, for example, wasn't available, and he's